Very unparliamentary behaviour by the Labour MP Lloyd Russell-Moyle. His protest at Theresa May shelving the big vote on her Brexit plan that was supposed to take place tomorrow.
Order. I must order the honourable gentleman to withdraw immediately from the House for the remainder of this day's sitting. Mr Russell-Moyle, please leave the chamber.
Just a few minutes earlier, an eccentric parliamentary convention.
Now, tomorrow!
That was the actual moment when the government backed away from the historic vote. Perhaps stranger still, it was hours earlier that the Prime Minister explained why MPs were being deprived of their say on her Brexit scheme.
It is clear that while there is broad support for many of the key aspects of the deal, on one issue, the Northern Ireland backstop, there remains widespread and deep concern. As a result, if we went ahead and held the vote tomorrow, the deal would be rejected by a significant margin. We will therefore defer the vote scheduled for tomorrow.
What does she do now?
I spoke to a number of EU leaders over the weekend, and in advance of the European Council, I will go to see my counterparts in other member states and the leadership of the Council and the Commission. I will discuss with them the clear concerns that this House has expressed.
She thinks and hopes she can persuade the European Union to give a stronger commitment that the so-called backstop, which some see as driving a wedge between Northern Ireland and Great Britain, and her critics say would seriously limit the UK's independence after Brexit. But
if the Prime Minister cannot be clear that she can and will renegotiate a deal, then she must make way. Mr. Speaker, if she is going back to Brussels, then she needs to build a consensus in this House.
That parliamentary umpire again, not happy.
Halting the debate after no fewer than 164 colleagues have taken the trouble to contribute will be thought by many members of this House to be deeply discourteous.
But probably even more troubling for the Prime Minister was this from the leader of Northern Ireland's DUP MPs, without whose support she'll struggle to govern.
What the Prime Minister says today simply isn't credible, is it? I mean, this is an impossible position for the government to find itself in. The Prime Minister says she's listening, but she talks about reassurances and assurances. Does she not get it by now that the withdrawal agreement, legally binding text, is unacceptable to this House?
And then there was one of the great parliamentary veterans.
Mrs Thatcher had a word for it. What she's done today, F-R-I-T, she's fricked.
Labour's leader came back.
The public, Mr. Speaker, will look at the behaviour of this government and how it treats their democratically elected representatives with despair.
And he won an emergency debate tomorrow. Now, what doubtless he'll point to is the many times the Prime Minister said this.
This is the best possible deal. It's the only possible deal. This is the deal that has been negotiated. There is not a better deal available. This is the deal.
Apparently not. Tonight she's preparing to meet European leaders to persuade them there is a better deal. And if she fails, as even her ministers fear she will, then a delayed vote simply means a day of reckoning for her, for the country, deferred. But not for long. Robert Peston, News at 10.